issue 2 of Cyborg, which is written by John Semper Jr. and Paul Pelletier on art. This was a slog.
Yeah.
I
mean,
really,
jeez.
I really hate to say this, but I'm dropping Cyborg. And I know I was relatively positive on the last issue. Like, if you go back and
I was too.
hear my thoughts, I really enjoyed all the character stuff. I enjoyed like Cyborg going to a jazz club and like sort of rediscovering his happiness a little bit. Like all that stuff I enjoy. But like this issue was mostly a fight with what's his name, Kilgore, with the
Kilgore with a percentage sign.
with the
Yeah.
percentage sign. And honestly, like this entire fight was putting me to sleep. And I'm going to make a really weird complaint here. And this is a weird complaint, but this is something that I've discovered that I really hate in comic books. Is I hate that, see, like when it's like robots or cybernetic characters, right? And they put their text, their font in this really blocky,
Hmm.
style to make it look more digital.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate reading it with a passion.
Yeah, you do have to actually think when you're reading it a bit more.
And it actually kind of strains my eyes. To compare it to something from another series, IDW's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series, which is very good, by the way. You should definitely check it out if you've ever been a fan of the Turtles. It's like 60 plus issues, and I've read the first 50 or so. But
I've read the first like 8, but I liked them.
But it's very good. Well, I can tell you, having read 50, well worth reading up to that point at least. But they did like minis every so often, or one shots of different, one focusing on Leonardo, one focusing on Casey, April, that sort of thing. There's a robot character in that called Fugitoid, and he had his own one shot, and I backed away from that like it was the plague, because every time that character is in the main series and he speaks, I hate those pages. I hate those panels because it's in this blocky, stupid font that hurts my eyes.
It's such a widespread problem. I think it's maybe because it's not considered a problem. It's just a distinguishing feature, but it's annoying.
It is really annoying because you've got like Cyborgs isn't too bad. Like Cyborgs is, oh, I kind of hit my mic there. Apologies, folks.
Yeah, Cyborgs has the italics on it, which kind of
Yeah.
makes it all right.
Cyborg is not too bad, right? But Kilgore was unbearable, and he was talking a lot in this issue. So not only was the fight itself boring, there was all this like he was quoting Shakespeare, he was he was monologuing, and it was all in this font, and it was just putting me to sleep the entire time.
Do you know what? I was okay at first because I think at the end of last issue we speculated, he'll just be there for the first few pages. There'll be something to fight, and then we'll move on. And I was going through the first few pages. It got to the bit where he quoted Hamlet. I was like, all right, okay, let's wrap this up. And then it didn't. I was like, oh, this is the whole thing. Ooh, and then that back half was an effort.
Yeah, there was like maybe 2 or 3 pages at the end that weren't the fight.
Yeah, not much at all. I'm actually interested in checking.
By all means, you go and check that. But I just at the end of this issue, I was just like, no, I'm done. Like,
Well, okay, so he pulls the arms off him, right?
right.
That is 1 page before the end. There is 1 page after that.
1 page before the end. Lovely.
Yeah. So there is literally 1 page after the fight.
So even though I like some stuff in issue 1, and I would really like to get into Cyborg, I would love to love Cyborg because DC really want us to love him, and I would love them.
It's I don't think it's even DC. I think it's just Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns wants us to love Cyborg, and I would love to love him just for Jeff Johns' sake. I really would.
It's one of those few rare occasions where I think he's wrong.
But I just don't. He's not. Well, I don't dislike Firestorm as much, but he does also have a hard on for Firestorm.
He does, but Firestorm, I've read some good stuff. Like I'm alright with that. Even in his own thing, whereas Cyborg I don't think
Yeah.
Cyborg can carry his own thing.
Cyborg is okay as part of a team, but every time they try and give him a solo series, I always find myself just not caring about issue 2 or whatever.
All they need to do is just throw him back to the Titans.
I think the problem is that his character's just not that interesting. It's not that original or deep. He's just, even his name.
Yeah, he has this one thing: is he human or not? Like that, and like even this series, which is exploring that, it's still it's the one thing that he's only ever had.
Honestly, it's kind of the same problem with Aquaman right now. He's got the one thing, relations with the land people versus the sea people, and that's it. That's everything's revolving around that, and I feel like everything has been revolving around that. Even in Jeff Johns' run, for the most part, in New 52, that was like a big thing the whole time. And it's almost like,
it felt fresher then though, because it was like, oh, hang on, we haven't seen the people interact with him like this.
same thing here. I'm like, Cyborg. And he's a cyborg, so they called him Cyborg. Right away, the name feels just so uninspired.
Yeah, it's just, I can't do it. Just can't do it.
Yeah, and I do believe that Matt is also well, he's not read this issue yet, but he was more down in the last couple than we were, so it seems like he will probably go the same way.
This might be the end for Cyborg.
It might be the end for Cyborg, at least with this current creative team, or unless we hear it gets amazing after like an arc or two or something.
Yeah, maybe if I hear really good things about the next issue, I'll jump back on. But I'm not going to read it first. It'll be like, oh, I hear good things. Okay, I'll try it.
But yeah, I was falling asleep during this.
Yeah, it was not good.
And that's what happens when you have to strain your eyes to read awkward fonts as you get sleepy.
And just when it's a bit boring.
It was that too, but I'm really hampering on this font thing because it really bugs me.